Hello, and welcome back to the channel and to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We have chosen our character. We have done our first missions to then get our initial pilot's license to be able to take passengers, and that then progresses on to missions. And this is in career mode, so they're going to be kind of 15-minute real-time sightseeing missions. That's if I get on and do this. And we've kept all of the assists on, so you can see the direction that we need to taxi onto the hold point, get onto the runway, and then take off, do a kind of brief tour, and then land the plane again. So the mission criteria, we get extra XP for excuse me, the smoothness of the ride, and the sightseeing quality. So we want to be able to improve on the first one. So I did make a couple of videos about the content within the flight simulator itself. So the different missions, and we're now going to be working through the career mode. So you can see the on-screen prompt there for us to take the air brakes off. We're going to need to get our engine speed up to get moving. So we can control with the yoke or with the flaps, which are our trigger buttons on the DualSense. And I find it easier to have this external plane view. So the central pad on the DualSense, we want to make sure we don't speed, so we'll just reduce our engine speed a little bit there. This is Bristol Airport, so I set the airport as my home airport. With hindsight, I probably would have chose somewhere a little bit more picturesque, but you can see there that it is rendering real-time weather, unfortunately for me, because that's the look outside the window. I'll just increase our engine speed a little bit here. So we don't want to speed, we've got to respect the 30-kilometre speed limit. So we got to reach a holding point. Don't know why there's what appears to be apartment blocks on the airport. I haven't been to this section of the airport to know whether that's true to life or not. And we do have a vehicle going across our path as well. Slightly odd, because that looks like domestic traffic. It looks like we're going through some kind of trading estate. So that's a bit confusing, got to say. An aircraft in the middle of that. We got buildings on our taxiing point, but we do seem to have a runway, so I hadn't seen this on the previous mission. Slow up again so we don't get fined for speeding. And then we want to throttle down with circle, and we can also use square to get to the hold point here. That's annoying. Okay, so we've failed there.
Traffic. Cessna Golf Sierra Zulu Whiskey Alpha. Taking off runway 09er. Departure to the west.
That's not going to be good. So we want to reach, I think it's 65.
But still exciting. Mostly exciting. And we're off. This is insane.
So we're just going to climb steadily. We should have some on-screen prompts, actually. So as you can see, once we get up to these sorts of altitudes, the level of detail on the ground is pretty impressive. We're nowhere near our altitude here. I think we're going to need to retry this one. This is not good. So we've got our engine at full throttle. We need to climb, really. So as you can see, if we try and climb too steadily, we're going to get those.
Nothing like it. Is there? Emily, thanks for checking in. I'm having a great time, and it's surely thanks to my pilot.
Okay, so we seem to have got a little bit back onto track here. That's good. Let's try and keep this altitude and speed. See the nice sun glimmering off the Bristol Channel there, the most picturesque sightseeing tour on offer.
It's so quiet here, so peaceful.
It is. It is, my friends. We had a bit of a dodgy start, but we're got some nice smooth flying now. Just going to drop our altitude a little bit to get through these waypoints. Small adjustments, and the easy thing to do is overcompensate. So let's just drop our altitude.
I wasn't prepared to feel this emotional about the view.
Right, we're going to reduce the airspeed a bit. So this then is going to be our kind of sightseeing path around the spectacular sights of East Gordano, or Eastern Gordano. So yeah, it's so clear from this kind of altitude, the level of detail. As we saw, once you get down to the ground, obviously you can't expect it to render.
Going too fast for me to take it all in.
Okay, I'll slow down, my friend. So we've got to maintain an altitude of 1,100 feet. So I have turned the volume down in the settings of some of the kind of warning messages, because at this point in my playthrough, as you can probably hear, it's not the smoothest of rides. You can see the bridge over there in the distance. I haven't been there in real life. So these are the docks where all the vehicles are parked.
It's like seeing this place for the first time.
You can see the bridge that goes across to Wales over there. So we better get some airspeed up, because we're not doing. And we'll try and get some flaps so that we can fly at lower speeds but maintain the altitude. So that's with the directional buttons. Looks like we're going over the motorway here. So we'll contact the air traffic and tell them about our position.
Filter traffic. Cessna Golf Sierra Zulu Whiskey Alpha. 5 miles southwest. 1300. Inbound to land. Runway 09er. Filton.
Okay, so we're going to land back at the same.
Learn how to talk to ATC. You sound like a secret agent to me.
Okay, so we can't have the flaps down at that speed, it's telling us on screen. And as you can see, once we've put those back in, it makes maintaining the altitude a little bit trickier. So we're going to reach our final approach point. Over what appears to be sewage works, very scenic. Okay. So they popped up a little bit late. I was a bit worried then that I didn't see the entry.
So exhilarating.
So we want to announce final when ready to land via radio.
Filter traffic. Cessna Golf Sierra Zulu Whiskey Alpha is on final. Runway 09er.
So we've got a nice straight run up actually to this runway. Just want to keep it nice and level. I'll probably start reducing our altitude. There's the M5 below us. I think we're probably carrying too much speed here as well. Tried at least nail the landing because that takeoff was pretty ropey, wasn't it? Okay, so we're going to reduce our speed right down. Keep the nose up. Got plenty of runway to go at. Coming in hot still there. And we're down. Oh, no we're not. Oh, right at the end. Really need to work on those landings. So thankfully, as you can see, almost like I did it on purpose, you can see that it's kind of loaded us back in on the final approach. So we were carrying way too much speed there, and that's the thing, is there's a tendency, certainly in me, to try and get the plane down a little bit too quickly. So we need to
Traffic. Cessna Golf Sierra Zulu Whiskey Alpha is on final. Runway 09er to land. Filton.
I'm not really sure if there's any aviators out there. Why does it constantly tell me don't sink? Am I below the speed? Is it the altitude? Because I'm going through the... I need to put some flaps down there. So maybe we were below the altitude. We'll put it down to that. But do pop in the comments if you got any hints or tips to pass on to me. As you can see, I do need them. So let's reduce the engine speed right down to idle. Okay, so we literally...
This landing was savage. Is that the right word? Well, down.
yeah, savage would be a fair comment, I think, my friend. So now we got our taxi in to do back to the stand. Try and at least stay on the centre line here. Um, 30 is the runway speed. We're not moving very fast at the moment, so we'll try and give it a bit of throttle. Use the rudders to stay on the essential marker. We'll reduce that throttle a bit before we get Hold off for speeding. Ease off a little bit more. So as I've said, it's not kind of unplayable unless you put loads and loads of hours into tutorials, but that time invested will clearly result in smoother flights. So I'm going to be losing points here, clearly, for, well, crashing the plane with a passenger on board in the first run through. We also sped on the runway. So I'm just going to hold the brake down there, which is the square button, just to kill some of that speed so that we can stop this time at the hold short instead of overshooting it. Because obviously we need to check that there's not any other traffic. We need to stop completely here. Okay, and then announce that we want to be able to taxi over to the parking stand.
Cessna Golf Sierra Zulu Whiskey Alpha is taxiing to parking Filton.
Okay, so we can get underway again. Not sure we need flaps down there. So we can stay with the rudders. Decent speed there. Getting a little bit confused by that. What appears to be cargo trucks going across the runway and an industrial estate. It feels a bit odd. Let's slow this down. That was lucky. Yeah, and apartments. So it seems like there's just some kind of random elements popping in. So I don't know whether that's the way it works, that kind of a certain amount of it renders based on the maps that are accessible. So you've got to pay, I think, more for the deluxe edition. And then there's various packs that you can get from the marketplace to increase the level of detail and realism around some key points. And I believe there's also airports that have been kind of rendered to be an exact representation of the real airport itself. We should be getting back towards our stand now, hopefully. There we go. And to one, thankfully still alive, customer on the brakes. Stop just there we go.
Perfect. Our guests still enjoyed flying over his place. And you'll improve each time. I'm sure of that.
Well, it says that. So let's go back in the aircraft to go through power down, R1 and down to complete the shutdown procedure. There we go. Mission success. Let's see how we did. Okay, I'm surprised that flight smoothness got 88%. Sightseeing quality, we did an alright job of the loop of flying around. Landing smoothness, 0%. 2 crashes. Aviator performances, we extended the flaps over the maximum airspeed. We missed the radio communication that was on takeoff because we didn't hold at the stop short before getting the green light for takeoff. And 2 crashes, not great, but it all goes towards our experience. And there we go, it takes us back to our little home hub here. So we've got 2% bonus for each mission. Special mission, we need to reach B reputation or more to unlock them. Oh, but we have got a level up. We're now level 3.
You've built enough flight hours to be eligible to take your CPL.
Okay.
If you
Sounds
pass
interesting.
CPL, you can begin to get paid for successful missions.
Okay. I like the sound of that. So certifications. Commercial pilot license. And that is going to show us how to fly a helicopter for compensation or hire and perform lots of fascinating jobs. Like the sound of that. So that's going to be our next video. I'll end this one here and I'm going to then jump over straight into the commercial pilot license tutorials, because I'm really eager to see how we fly the helicopters, because if we want to go into the photo mode or just the kind of free flight, then if we're flying over somewhere where we want to get a little bit lower or even land and look around, and that's very difficult in a light aircraft. And so something with the ability to kind of take off and land vertically would be a big improvement. And then hopefully those controls kind of translate into some of the drone type aircraft that you get in here. So thank you very much for watching. I've mentioned in some other videos that I'm currently trying to get to 50 subscribers so I can start to do some live streams. Live streams feels like a better platform for games like this for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The other content is more kind of episodes. And what I want to be able to do is a live stream just means that I can still do things in real time, but not feel like I've got to fill every minute of it with some commentary. And it's just about finding what works for different audiences as well. So people like different things. Sometimes you just want something on in the background. Sometimes you want tutorials or hints, or just to watch someone play and talk through their experience. So it would help if you have any views on that, pop them into the comments. I'm trying to just get as much content onto the channel to try and build it at the moment. That's where we're at. So if you could hit that subscribe button and get us towards 50 subscribers, that would be massive. Thank you very much.